Hey guys, so it may sound a bit odd, but I feel like I've been overloaded with a lot of really bright colours lately, and I need to offset that and balance it out. And of course, the best colour for that is grey. So what's all grey, small-ish, and has cuteness potential? Okay, well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Besides, when I'm done, it'll be 3 for 3 anyway. So with that boast out of the way, let's get into it. Since I'm limiting the colours here, you can probably guess this part yourself. I've got the King Cole Yummy yarn in grey, and I also have some white and pink DK acrylic yarn for the details. I will of course list all the materials I use in this video in the description box below. I began with the legs since I was using my bottom-up approach, and I had to make a smaller elephant here because I needed it to fit into my photo booth. Sometimes I have trouble with that, but anyway. I started off with a small circle and crocheted in the back loops only once I was ready to build up the height of the leg. Once I reached the length I required, I made a second leg and then glued a small wooden disc into the bottom of each one. This gives it a more stable surface, but also helps keep it flat and stops it caving in. Once I had both feet done, I put them to one side and moved on to the arms. To start making the arms, I crocheted a small tube, tapering it slightly, but only slightly, and again glued a small wooden disc at the bottom of each hand to make them lie flat instead of being rounded. Then, using the white DK yarn and an embroidery needle, I sewed on some toes, or nails. Elephant fingers? In any case, I went through each stitch several times to thicken it up before moving on to the next one. I went for 4 toes in total for each limb, as that looked okay to me. 3 seemed too sparse and 5 seemed like a lot. So cartoon rules it is. With that done, the limbs were finished, and so I put them all to one side again for now. For the body proper, I joined the 2 legs together while making sure the toes were facing the correct way. If you're trying this yourself, you get to benefit from my hindsight and just save sewing the toes till the end. That way, you get to avoid all the alignment issues that I didn't. Yay! Oh well. Soldiering on, I carried on up the small torso until I reached the point where I needed to attach the arms. I prepared some wire wrapped in quilt batting off camera. I just can't resist me some poseable arms. After inserting the wire, I attached the arms, and yeah, he looks so cute so far. I also decided at this point to add a heart to his chest. Just a random impulse, and absolutely not because I own a bazillion of them and have to find a use for them in other projects now. No. But anyway, I had to place it now because it requires access to the inside to attach the safety washer. With that done, I then stuffed the body firmly and went on to finish up the head, making sure to insert the eyes before closing that up. The trunk was started in much the same way as the feet and arms. The trunk, yet another tube with a wooden disc glued to the bottom of it to flatten the end. I lightly stuffed the trunk, and by lightly I mean barely, and then I sewed it right in between the eyes. We're nearly there, guys, just a few more details left. onto the tail. For this part, I just chained a few stitches and single crocheted back down the chain to leave me a cute little teeny weeny tail. I sewed that onto the back of the elephant, and yeah, that's it. It's a cute little tail. Finally, for the ears, I crocheted a circle in the grey yarn, and then using some pink DK acrylic yarn, I crocheted a smaller circle to go on top of that. You can of course just cut out some pink felt and glue them to the ears as well, but at this time I decided let's not take the lazy way out. Not saying that using the felt isn't lazy. Okay, you know what, I'm going to stop digging myself a hole. But anyway, using some fabric glue, I then secured the pink circle onto the grey one. Once it was fully dry, I went around the edge and sewed in the pink circle for more security, just making sure to not pop through the other side, so barely scratching the surface of the grey yarn, as it were, using the back loop stitches to secure that pink onto the grey. I did all this a second time to end up with 2 ears, and the very last step is to sew the ears onto the side of the head. So while I finish sewing the ears, and most importantly add a tiny top hat, which you will see at the end, I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and of course if you'd like to see more, then please like, share, comment, and even consider subscribing. If you are feeling generous, then also please consider buying me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi. The link to my Ko-fi page will be included in the description box below, and any and all donations will be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to yeet that bell button to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that, here's my teeny top hat wearing elephant, because who doesn't like a teeny top hat wearing elephant? Enjoy the beauty shots, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!